Free houses exist, not somewhere far away in Japan. So why are they still empty? Why are entire towns offering homes for almost nothing and still being ignored? Something about these places doesn't add up. In this video, you'll discover 10 real towns where you could start a new life for next to nothing. But as we count down, you'll begin to see the pattern and the one detail that quietly explains why most people never stay. Okutama. At first glance, Okutama doesn't feel abandoned. It feels hidden. Dense forests, quiet rivers, a place where Tokyo's noise simply disappears. And that's exactly the illusion. Because behind that, beauty is a quiet reality. Homes sitting empty, waiting for someone to come back. The local government offers subsidies, even near free housing, hoping to attract younger residents. But very few stay. Why? Because Okutama demands something most people aren't prepared for: isolation. The convenience of Tokyo is technically close, but daily life here feels completely detached from it. Shops close early, communities are small, tight, and slow to open up. And if you're not used to silence, it doesn't feel peaceful. It feels heavy, almost watchful. The houses themselves often need repairs, sometimes major ones. What looks like a dream escape quickly becomes a commitment. Okutama isn't just offering cheap living, it's asking you to trade speed for stillness, noise for emptiness. And not everyone realizes how loud silence can be, until they're already living inside it. Nichinan. Nichinan looks like a postcard that never ends. Palm trees swaying, sunlight bouncing off the ocean, streets that feel calm instead of crowded. On paper, it's perfect. And that's what makes it so confusing. Why would homes here be almost free? Why would people leave a place like this behind? The answer isn't obvious at first. It reveals itself slowly. Jobs are limited. Opportunities are scarce. What you gain in beauty, you lose in movement. The town offers abandoned homes at incredibly low prices, sometimes nearly free, just to bring life back into its streets. But living here means accepting a different rhythm. One where ambition slows down and routine takes over. For some, that's freedom. For others, it feels like being stuck in time. The ocean is always there, calm and endless, but it doesn't change anything. Days start to blur. Nights become quieter than expected. And over time, that paradise begins to feel distant. Like something you're observing, not fully living. Nichinan doesn't trap you. It simply asks one question: how much stillness can you truly handle? Yubari. Yubari doesn't hide what it is. It shows you. Empty streets, silent buildings, a town that once thrived, now barely holding on. This was once a booming coal mining city, full of life, purpose, and movement. But when the industry collapsed, everything went with it. People left, businesses closed, and what remained stayed frozen. Today, homes here are unbelievably cheap. Some are sold for almost nothing, because the town needs people. It needs a future. But stepping into Yubari feels like stepping into something unfinished. Winters are harsh, isolation is real, and the emptiness isn't subtle. It's constant. You don't just notice it, you feel it. The streets don't echo with activity, they absorb sound. The houses stand, but many carry the weight of years without care. Living here isn't just about affordability, it's about resilience. Because Yubari doesn't offer comfort, it offers a challenge, a chance to rebuild something where others couldn't. But that also means living with what's left behind. And sometimes, what's left behind is heavier than what you're trying to build. Kamikatsu. Kamikatsu is known for something unusual: zero waste. Every item is sorted, reused, repurposed. Nothing is thrown away without thought. And that philosophy extends beyond trash. It applies to the town itself. Homes here aren't just abandoned, they're waiting to be reused. Offered at extremely low prices, sometimes nearly free, to those willing to live differently. But Kamikatsu isn't for everyone. Because living here means committing to a system most people have never experienced. Recycling isn't optional, it's detailed, strict, and constant. Daily life becomes intentional in ways that can feel overwhelming. The town is quiet, deeply rural, and far removed from modern convenience. But what truly stands out isn't the rules, it's the pace. Time slows here. Not gently, but noticeably. You become aware of every action, every habit, every routine. And for some, that awareness becomes pressure. Kamikatsu offers a meaningful life, but it also removes distractions. And when distractions disappear, you're left alone with your thoughts more than you expected. The question isn't whether you can live cheaply here. It's whether you can live this consciously. Imabari. Imabari feels more alive than the others. Ships move. Cyclists pass through. There's activity, motion. Just enough to make you think this place is different. And in some ways, it is. But even here, homes sit empty. Quietly. Waiting. The town offers low-cost and near-free houses, hoping to attract newcomers who can bring energy back into the community. At first it feels like balance. Not too isolated, not too busy, but that balance can shift. Because while tourism passes through, it rarely stays. The deeper you settle, the more you notice the gaps. Younger generations leaving, shops closing earlier than expected, a community slowly adjusting to less. The houses themselves often need work, sometimes more than they appear. And while the cost is low, the effort isn't. Imabari gives you a chance to belong somewhere that still has movement, but it also shows you how fragile that movement is. It's not frozen like Yubari. It's not silent like Okutama. But it's changing. Gradually. And if you stay long enough, you begin to feel that shift, even when everything looks normal on the surface. Hida. Hida feels like stepping into another era. Wooden houses, snow-covered rooftops, streets that seem untouched by time. It's the kind of place people dream about when they think of traditional Japan. And that's exactly why the reality is so unexpected. Homes here can be incredibly cheap, sometimes almost free if you're willing to restore them. But restoration isn't simple. These houses are old, not just in appearance, but in structure. Repairs can take months, sometimes years. And while you're rebuilding the house, you're also adjusting to a life that moves much slower than you're used to. Winters are long, social circles are small, and traditions run deep. You're not just moving into a house, you're stepping into a way of life that doesn't easily change. That can be beautiful, but it can also feel limiting. Because in Haida, the past isn't something you visit, it's something you live inside every day. And over time, that charm can start to feel permanent. Like you didn't just move somewhere new, you moved somewhere that doesn't move at all. Ozu. Ozu tells a story without trying. A castle overlooking the town. Old streets preserved with care. A place that feels historic, almost carefully maintained. And in many ways, it is. But behind that preservation is a quiet effort to keep the town alive. Homes are offered at low prices, sometimes nearly free, to encourage people to move in and restore what's slowly fading. At first, it feels like an opportunity to live inside history or to be part of something meaningful. But history comes with weight. Renovating these homes isn't just about fixing walls. It's about respecting a past that still defines the present. That can feel rewarding or restricting. The community values tradition, continuity, and familiarity. Change happens slowly, if at all. And for newcomers, that adjustment can be difficult. Because while Ozu invites you in, it doesn't reshape itself around you. You adapt to it. The town doesn't feel empty. It feels preserved. But preservation has a cost. It holds things in place. And if you're not ready for that stillness, it can feel less like living, and more like maintaining something that was never yours to begin with. Shintoku. Shintoku is surrounded by openness. Fields stretching out. Mountains in the distance, a kind of space that feels freeing at first. There's room to breathe here, room to start over. And that's exactly what the town offers: low cost housing, incentives, a chance to build something new. But space has another side, because when everything spreads out, so does everything else. Services are far, neighbors aren't always close, and daily life requires more effort than expected. Winters add another layer: cold, long, and isolating. The quiet isn't gentle here, it's vast. You don't just step into silence, you step into distance. The houses are affordable, but maintaining them in this environment takes commitment. This isn't convenience living, it's intentional living. Shintoku gives you freedom, but it also removes the structures that most people rely on without realizing it. And once those structures are gone, you begin to understand how much they mattered. The question becomes simple but heavy. Do you want space or do you need connection? Because here, having both isn't always guaranteed. Akitakata. Akitakata doesn't try to impress you, it doesn't need to. Quiet roads, open land, a place that feels steady, almost unchanged. And that's the problem, because while the town remains, the people don't. Population decline has left behind empty homes, many offered at extremely low prices, sometimes nearly free, just to bring someone back. At first it feels like opportunity. A blank slate, a chance to live simply. But simplicity can turn into repetition. Days become predictable. Movement slows. And without strong local industry, opportunities don't grow. They stay the same. The houses often require work, but the bigger adjustment isn't physical, it's mental. You have to be comfortable with routine, with quiet, with a life that doesn't constantly evolve. Akitakata doesn't push you away, it simply doesn't pull you forward. And that difference matters. Because without momentum, even a peaceful place can begin to feel still. Not calm, but paused. And over time, that pause becomes something you have to decide whether you can live with, or eventually leave behind. Nanbu. Nanbu offers something that sounds almost unreal. Homes that are practically free. Not discounted, not cheap. Almost free. The kind of offer that immediately raises a question. What's the catch? And the answer isn't hidden. It's layered. To get these homes, you often have to commit, live there full time, maintain the property, become part of the community. That sounds simple, until you experience it. Nanbu is quiet, deeply rural, and far removed from fast-paced life. The adjustment isn't just about location, it's about identity. Who you are when everything slows down. Who you are when convenience disappears. The houses themselves may need repairs, but the real challenge is consistency. Staying, adapting, belonging. Because Nanbu doesn't just give you a house, it asks for your presence in return. And that exchange isn't as easy as it sounds. Many people arrive with excitement. Few stay long enough to fully settle, because in the end, the price isn't money, it's commitment. And that's the part most people don't realize, until they're already there. What looks like the deal of a lifetime can sometimes hide the heaviest truth of all. Starting over is never really cheap. These Japanese towns offer beauty, silence, and almost free homes, but each one asks for something in return. Not just money, commitment, adaptation, belonging. And maybe that's the real mystery here. Not why these houses are empty, but why staying is harder than arriving.